All right. Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing? All right. Yeah, Upstart. Ugly. I don't think it's. Guys, I'm not one of those people that make up the whole what do you call it? Um, the whole conspiracy theory about it's they're doing things to make the stocks go down. It's Upstart just is not growing. Upstart had some very bad guidance, and there is no room in this market for stocks that have bad guidance and are not making money. So, yeah, that's why Upstart's down so much. I mean, they said they have a really bad outlook, and they expect to not make money basically, and that they have a lot of concerns about the loans that they are giving out. So, yeah, I mean, it's not really anything that would make me think is fake. It's just a really bad earnings report. So I wouldn't try to make up. Oh, it's the hedge funds trying to attack the retail traders, guys. That's just an excuse. I'm sorry. That's like the excuse that goes on ever since AMC and GameStop went on. That's like the I don't want to get too aggressive with wording here, but it's not the reason. It's not the reason. It's because they had bad guidance and a very bad quarter. So that's what happens. There's no room in the stock market for companies that are losing money. Yeah, I have like 5 shares of Upstart, so yeah, I'm obviously going to lose money on that. But it is what it is. I'm not too concerned about that. So add to the long. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't like what they said. So I mean, if I have to take like $100 loser on my shares and just move on, I might have to, because I don't like what they said about their earnings. I was reading it. It's not good. So that's Upstart, but we got plenty more to talk about today. So let's go ahead and look at what's going on. As you guys, if you came to the live stream yesterday, guys, we basically called out what the day was going to do in the morning. It was perfect. I mean, yesterday was an absolute textbook. We pushed up into 12.5, we rejected, and we slipped to 12.2. We talked about that exact same thing in the pre-market live stream yesterday. I actually have it pulled up. This is what we were looking at yesterday in the pre-market live stream. We're looking for a push into 12.5 and a slip into 12.2. I'm not going to play the voice. Actually, I'll play the voice. 12.8 either, guys. This is Friday's levels. You could reject off this as well. So if we go here, 12.5, maybe you even bring it up to like this 12.6. I would say this whole area, 12.6 to 12.5. I want to put a 100-point range on it, guys, because it is Monday and we need to give things a little bit of breathing room. So I would look personally today, I would look for a bounce into this 12.5 or 12.6, right? And then I would see, do we start to reject in this area? That would be sort of what I'd be watching here today. So we were watching yesterday that 12.5, 12.6 level, as you guys just saw. That's from yesterday's live stream. And we were looking for a rejection there, and that is exactly what we got. So again, the levels just continue to work here on the market. They are very clear, and they work very well, and they are trustworthy. So yesterday was pretty clean. I hope everyone took advantage of that. If you come here to the live streams, or if you just sort of watch your levels on the NASDAQ, everything worked out as expected. There was no unexpected moves yesterday. It was just a slip off a resistance, off a supply, and we were able to catch downside. So beautiful stuff yesterday. Let's look into today. What levels do we have to watch today? What levels need to be on our charts to make sure we have a structured day, right? Coming into any trading day without any type of structure on the market is just you're watching a video within a video. It's video inception. Coming into any day without any type of levels on the market, guys, is you're seriously putting yourself at a disadvantage. And I would recommend to try to figure out levels yourself, or come here to the pre-market live stream. It's just a really, really important thing. Down, I call it a Upstart instead of Downstart. I like Upstart. That's the name for Upstart lately, is Upstart. So once again, thank you guys for being here. Let's go ahead and get started. Futures, we have, as always, economic earnings calendar. Perfect Roku bear flag. Congratulations to anyone that played that yesterday from the pre-market live stream. The Roku bear flag was something special. That was a beautiful trade. Congrats, guys. I was able to get some on that. Tesla to 760. I still believe Tesla needs to drop to 760. Good morning, Brad. We've been looking at Tesla at 760 for about 2 weeks now. You guys probably, if you come to the live streams, if you're familiar with what I talk about, you know that 760 has been a level I've been watching on Tesla for about 2 weeks. I've been saying that I think Tesla needs to come back down to this level if the market is weak, and it is definitely on its way. Amazon, the volume profile we've been looking at for 2 weeks is still showing us everything we need to know. It is working out beautifully. It's working out perfect. Congrats to anyone that took any of that. I'll show it to you guys again because there's still downside on Amazon according to the volume profile, which has been extremely, extremely accurate in this market. Nvidia, we talked about that 180 level yesterday. It rejected yesterday and moving lower, so I wanted to get another look at Nvidia for us. Facebook gap fill. My long term's bleeding out too, Adam. But you know, this is a short term pain for a long term gain. It's, you know, the thing that I tell people that ask me about the market right now is, what do you think people during similar times in the past were thinking at those moments in time, right? And what were people thinking in 2007 and 2008? What were people thinking, even during COVID? And even before that, everyone in the short term was panicking. Everyone in the short term was saying, oh, should I sell my stocks? Blah, blah, blah. And, 20 years down the road, 10 years down the road, everyone that held on and was able to dollar cost average into positions typically are in the right position. So, I can't predict what happens in 20 years. But if I had any judgment on what's happened in the past, what's happened in the stock market over the past, since its inception, I would say if you have a long-term time horizon, there is absolutely nothing to worry about. If you are, in your 20s, in your 30s, even in your 40s, if you're not close to retirement, there's really not much to worry about here. Obviously, if you're in retirement, that's a little bit more interesting, right? Because if you're looking to retire, in the next year, that I feel for those people, because this is a tough time now. If you're sitting on a 401k with, let's just say $1 million in it, and you're down like 300 grand, 400 grand right now, that's a little bit more shady, right? That's a little bit more just sort of difficult. So that I can feel, right? The people that are close to retirement right now, that is a tough situation. But if you're in your 20s, if you're in your 30s, even if you're in your early 40s, and you still got 10, 20, 30 years till retirement, or if you're just looking to invest, there is just nothing to worry about right now. But anyways, let's continue. Facebook gap fill. I traded Facebook a little bit yesterday, and I actually held a contract. Now, I only did this because it was basically a risk-free contract, and I was up on the day substantially versus the value of this contract. So we'll see if it works. I'm really not worried about it. It's one contract. And I was just looking to see if I can get a little bit of a home run on this one, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Square bear flag. Really clean Square bear flag yesterday. Square was down almost 15% yesterday. Crazy. So let's look at that Square bear flag. Look at the levels there. Microsoft slipped under that 270 level. That was a major level for Microsoft, and it is now trading below it. That is important. And Shopify, I've said this the last, 4 or 5 days on this live stream. I think Shopify needs to move to 300. I think it's on its way. So we'll look at all these stocks today. And then if you guys are a member of the live stream, if you press that join button down below, you can go ahead and submit your tickers on the Google Docs. So make sure to do that. Make sure to, if you want to look at stocks with me in the morning, just go ahead and press the join button down below. Or if you're already a member, make sure to put it on the Google Docs for us to review. All right. Press the like button, like it says right there. Press the like button, right? That would be fantastic if you could. And let's go ahead and get started. So, futures. we're going to have to look at futures on the short-term time frames here today, guys, because this is really where we need to focus, right? If I look at the hourly chart, it's still obviously a pretty big slip here in the short, and in the last 2 weeks, just about. We'll start here on the hourly just to get a good idea of what happened. The last few days. You guys can see we slipped under support around 12.9 on Friday of last week. Look at the rejection, right? That just sort of set up this entire move. We turned previous support into resistance, and there is just nothing quite bullish about that, right? Support into resistance right here. You guys see those wicks, you see that resistance. It is very, very clear. When I saw that on Friday, I knew we were in for some downside. If you turn support into resistance in a weak market, guys, like this, you're going to see downside. So on Friday of last week, I was fully prepared for that downside. You guys can see it right there. If you go to the 5-day, 5-minute, we will get a better view at what's going on here in the last 2 days, which I think is the right thing to be looking at. I think we need to be looking at what's happening day over day, because the day over day changes will give us a little bit more insight into any short-term movement. And here's what happened yesterday, guys, right? I mean, it was pretty textbook stuff. Yesterday morning, I'll zoom into yesterday morning. And, if you were confused as to why the market's falling yesterday, please listen here and please understand what's going on. And it really is quite clean. So where did we bottom on Friday, right? We bottomed at 12.5 right there. We bottomed there and we bottomed there, right, guys? We have two lows of Friday, lows intraday and the lows of the after hours. Now, yesterday, we slipped into that in the pre-market trading. We slipped under that level in the pre-market trading. Now, what do I talk about on this channel all the time? Break and retest. We broke a previous level of support. What happens when you come back and retest that level? If that turns into resistance, that is an indication of downside. And that is exactly what happened yesterday. We slipped. We pushed into it pre-market, into the opening few minutes of trading. We went ahead and rejected absolutely perfectly. And this is what caused the rest of the day slip. You guys can see that. It is pretty much the cleanest break and retest you could ask for yesterday. We were on the we were live trading yesterday on the voice chat in the Discord saying, watch out. 12.5, watch out for this. This is not real. The push in the morning was not real. We need to watch out for the 12.5 level. And you guys can see right there, it was a very clean rejection. So the rest of the day, you continued to make lower lows and lower highs. There was not a single point in the day yesterday where you even attempted to make a higher high intraday, right? You didn't have anything. So you trust the trend. You look for the lower highs, lower lows. That happened all day. A beautiful slip. Very nice stuff yesterday. Now, today, all right? Today, you are getting a little bit more. You're getting a little bit of a push here in the morning, right? A little bit push in the pre-market. This is always to be expected after a down day like this, right? A little bit of a sympathy bounce in the morning. Now, there's levels above that we have to get over before we can even think about buying calls today, all right? You have to get over 12.4 here, 12.420. Why? Because this was a previous resistance yesterday, and look at what it's doing this morning. Why is the NASDAQ stopping right here? It's not magic. It is because this was a previous resistance level from yesterday, and it is turning it into resistance again. So you resisted here yesterday. You're resisting it here again. You cannot look for upside really until 12.5, but you definitely should not be buying calls into this supply level here because that is just a recipe for disaster. So if you get over this 12.4, 12.420, maybe there's some room into the yesterday's highs in this gap here. This is a potential little gap for maybe upside. But, right, you have to watch out for this level here around 12.5. That 12.5 level is not going to be easy to get through. It was a previous low of Friday. It was yesterday's high a day. You are needing to get through at least 12.5 before you can even look for any real upside here. Maybe towards 12.8, 12.9. If the market really does have a little bit of a sympathy bounce, maybe you could get back up towards this 12.8, 12.9. This is Friday's highs. But this is a big level, right? I mean, I would not expect the market to get through this level very easily up here, right? That's That's a tough level. So if we get any type of sympathy bounce today after about a 3.5% red day yesterday, here's the levels that I would watch. I would watch 12.4. This is the pre-market high, also a previous resistance from yesterday. I would watch 12.5 area, 12.5, 12.6. This was Friday's lows and yesterday's highs. That's going to be big. If we get through that level, you probably have a little bit more upside to be had, right? If you get to that level, maybe you watch like the 12.6 here, but you pretty much have you have some free space up here, right? You might have some buyers starting to get a little bit excited for a short-term squeeze if you can get over yesterday's highs. A break over yesterday's highs, a day-over-day higher high, is probably a good reason for maybe a little bit of a squeeze here. But if I zoom out for just 1 second, does that mean you start taking, swing trades to the upside? Absolutely not, guys. I mean, this is the long-term trend. You should not be looking for anything until you see a really substantial move outside of this long-term downtrend. But that is just me sharing with you the short-term levels. You can maybe try to find some short-term upside if you get over yesterday's highs. Let's see what happens. But here are your rejection points: 12.4, 12.5 to 12.550, and then maybe you have some free room up here if you can get over this level. And that's a big if, because we could easily see this. We could easily see this. Or we could easily just see this, right? I think these are the highest probabilities today. A push into previous support, turn it into resistance. I don't see us getting through here and moving up to this 12.8. That would be a pretty astonishing move. It's possible, but I just don't see it right now with this market. That would be about a 4% green day. Hey, if we get a 4% green day, I'm not going to be upset about it, but it's just hard for me to see that in this market right now. So that's the NASDAQ, guys. It's very, very defined. It was defined yesterday. I think it's going to be defined again today. Here's the ES. The ES was just as clean, guys. So here's the ES 5-minute chart over the last 2 days. Where did the ES reject yesterday? Where was the high a day yesterday? You can see it right here. Right there. Perfect. Previous support from Friday. Previous support from Friday. We broke under it. We retested it. We turned it into resistance, and we slipped the entire day. So that would be what I'd be watching for, right? You have previous support into resistance. That's at 4,060 on the ES. That's big. Next, you have the pre-market highs here, which are also previous support levels from yesterday, 4,030. So you got 4,030 and 4,060 levels to the upside. You could see this. You could see this. You could see this. Or if you really are bullish today, you're going to see something like this, a break and retest of 40.60, which I think would be pretty, this would be my lowest probability setup. I would look for more things like this, push into 40.30, push into 40.60, and then find resistance. Okay, that's the ES, pretty textbook, just easy setups with those key levels on the market. Those are the levels I would watch. We'll go over the economic calendar just in a second after I do the futures. You can see the Dow is trying to hold on to that level we were talking about. If I go back to the hourly, you can see the Dow is trying to hold on to that 4220 level, or 32,200. I don't know, I'm thinking about the ES. You guys can see the 32,200. That level dates back to this low. So you can see right here. That level dates back to this low back in February. So you had this February low at 32,200, and you are attempting to hold up at that level now. Dow is still in a downtrend. I don't really think focusing on the Dow is too crucial, guys. I think you need to focus on the ES and the NASDAQ more than anything. Russell, another one that I don't think is too crucial unless you're trading small caps. But in my opinion, I think the Russell needs to move back down to, let me get more time, which it already sort of is. I think the Russell needs to move back down to 1,700. 1,700 is where I think the Russell will trade to. You guys can see it right here. Previous resistance, broke through it, turned it into support, and I think you have to trade back down to that 1,700 on the Russell. So, pretty much, guys, NASDAQ, you do have a big 12.2 level here. If we do zoom out to the longer term real quick, you guys can see this 12.2 level. This is the level that it held yesterday that we were talking about. You can see right here, previous resistance, 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 support. And you can see that this is where we tried to hold on, right? Look at where the market is bouncing off of. You guys can see right here, see this little green zone that I drew where the market is trying to bounce off of? Where is that green zone? When you look at the daily chart, that green zone is right here, right? That's the green zone. When I zoom into the 5-minute chart, if I'm trading and I'm watching the NASDAQ on the 1 minute, the 5-minute chart, and I don't have that zone there, how do I know it's going to hold, right? You have to have these levels on your chart on the further time frame so you know exactly what's going on when you're looking at it on a shorter term time frame. You got to know, why is there a green level there? What's going on at this area? I have this area marked. What is this? Oh, okay. On the daily chart, this is a very clear previous resistance into support. This is the key level on the market. So when I'm looking at the NASDAQ on the 1 minute intraday and I see it moving into a green zone like this, I say, okay, something's going on here, right? Why is the market holding? Then I can look back and I know exactly why. So that's 12.2. That's what we're trying to hold. And that is what I would watch, guys. 12.4, 12.6. Guys, the QQQ looks the exact same. I mean, just look at the QQQ and you can just, it's the exact same stuff. You got to be able to look at that and just sort of tell that it's pretty much the exact. So you can see Friday's lows were right here on the QQQ, right? It's the exact same thing, right? 305. It's all the same. It looks the exact same. Okay, that's the futures. So economic calendar, we missed that. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Yesterday we had some inflation expectations. I believe the 1 year was lower than expected, but the 3 year was higher than expected, which is, yeah, okay, here it is. It's right here. Yeah, so actual for the 1 year was 6.3 versus the previous 6.6. This was the initial previous reading. And then the 3 year inflation is 3.9 versus 3.7. So it's interesting. They're maybe forecasting a little bit of a lighter inflation in the short term due to the short-term interest or the Fed funds rates, right? They're maybe expecting a little bit of a short-term reaction, but they're still thinking in the long term inflation is still running hotter than they previously thought. So they think inflation probably stays higher than they originally thought, but in the short term you might get maybe a tick down because of Fed funds and all their actions they're taking. That's my reading from it, but the market really didn't react much off that. Maybe it just continued lower because of it, but not much really happened at the time of the release at 11 o'clock. We didn't really see much volatility. Today is Tuesday, May 10th, so I don't really see anything here today. Tomorrow, guys, is the big day, right? This is huge. This is absolutely huge. 8:30, CPI data. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I would be cash heavy into this tomorrow. I would protect yourself. I would make sure to protect your portfolio. There is nothing wrong with protecting your portfolio, guys. I mean, I know everyone wants to make money every single day. I know everyone wants to become a millionaire overnight, but sometimes you got to play defense, and that's it. If you want to stay around and trade for a long time, you got to play defense. You got to learn how to play defense. So into a meeting like this, I am very cash heavy. I do not risk. I do not try to attempt to guess what happens on these types of events. I see so many people in my Discord, and I try to help them with that mindset, but also especially on YouTube where they're just sort of, throwing everything out their rear end. Stop trying to guess what happens on macroeconomic events. It is literally the most useless thing you could do in trading. There is absolutely no reason to try to guess what happens on CPI. It's just a waste of time. So react to it. You react to it. You don't try to guess. All right. That is that. Earnings calendar. Let's pull that up. Earnings calendar. Here we go. So yesterday we had Upstart, and that took a sharp down 50%. That thing's donezo. I mean, I will look at it, but yeah, it's not much there. AMC, Plug, Novavax is down heavy. Watch mRNA for downside potentially. And then that's really it. This morning, Peloton, if you didn't think it could get any worse, it's getting worse. Peloton is Is it down into the single digits yet? Peloton is not down to the single digits yet. It is almost there. We need 72 more cents for Peloton to be in the single digits, guys. Absolutely crazy. Rest in peace, Peloton. Workhorse, SoFi, Roblox after hours, Trade Desk after hours, Coinbase after hours, Unity Software after hours, Wynn Resorts after hours, Rocket Mortgage. This could be interesting, guys. If you see, I actually might. It's so cheap. This can't be good. Upstart's news can't be good for Rocket Mortgage, and you already know. You already know that Rocket Mortgage is going to be slowing down in the short term because of mortgage rates. So that's interesting. I'm sure that's going to be an ugly, or at least not a fantastic earnings report, in my opinion, just with the macroeconomic things that are going on. SoFi, Roblox, Trade Desk, Coinbase, Unity, Wynn, Rocket Mortgage, Matterport. So yeah. Tomorrow, before open, Yeti, Fiverr, Krispy Kreme, Wendy's, Walt Disney, that's interesting. Rivian, Dutch Bros Beyond Meat, Sonos, Bumble. Thursday, not much Thursday morning. Affirm's probably going to be under pressure because of Upstart. It's already moving lower. What else? Motorola, great. And that's about it, guys. So nothing that's really interesting to me. Walt Disney is something I'll definitely watch because that is a legitimate company that I like to watch. So Disney, definitely on watch. That's about it. I'm not going to be playing any earnings, so really not that important to me. Roku. So guys, we were talking about Roku yesterday, and we were talking about basically the idea of playing downside on the companies that went up off earnings, right? My idea about, it was back in January, was there was a lot of stocks that were moving up off earnings with a very weak market, and that's just a recipe for downside. So Roku was pushing up higher off earnings, which is all just fake. You had a little bit of a pop off earnings, a little bit of a, maybe short covering into earnings, people getting a little excited buying Roku into earnings, and then the overall market takes place, right? The tide goes out. And it shows you who has their pants down and who is protected. And Roku is the one that has their pants down. And post earnings, after a 4-day run, it's given it all back. It's given absolutely everything back. And this was something we talked about yesterday in the pre-market live stream. We talked about the bear flag on Roku that was forming right here. You guys can see it. We charted out this exact chart. Bear flag, beautiful downside over the last few days. Roku is now trading right back to where it was before earnings. So what happens now? Do we get more downside, or is this where we bounce? Personally, I would look for a downside move under 84 today. If you see a break of this 84, I think you're going to move lower. If you see a break of this 84, I think Roku can move lower in a weak tech market. If the Nasdaq does some sympathy bounce today, then obviously Roku will move with it. But ultimately, if the market continues to be weak and Roku slips under 84, this is something I am definitely watching. Marie, I saw that question. You can watch the /NKD, which is the Nikkei index. I think that's Japan, and then the HSI. It's going to be difficult for me to. This is the Hong Kong, the Hang Seng. I think this is Hong Kong, Hang Seng Index. Right here. HSI, /HK. Pause the video if you missed that. I'm not going back. And /NKD is the Nikkei Index. This is Japan. HS1, that's probably on TradingView. Yeah, that's TradingView. On Thinkorswim, it's HSI, /HK, Hang Seng Index. All right. Back to Roku. So, if Roku slips under this level, guys, I would watch out. Under 84, you can keep an eye on that. If we zoom out and we go to the weekly chart, we are basically back down to, sort of these COVID levels, which is crazy, sort of at this 70, 58 level. So there is still downside to be had, guys. If we slip under this 84, there is still downside to be had. I know it's crazy to see, but there is. You can see Roku is just bleeding out. I would watch this bear flag right here. Bear flag, beautiful breakdown. Last 2 days, clean rejections. Downside, if you break this 84, watch out below. We talked about that one yesterday. Very nice. Tesla. So why do I think Tesla needs to move to 760, guys? I think it needs to retest this previous level of support. You can see it right here. This is sort of the level that I've been watching. We'll redo this analysis here. You can see I've been watching this 760 level right here. This is a previous resistance, previous double bottom support. I think you want to see Tesla back to that 760. Boom, boom, and boom. So 760 is where I'm looking for Tesla to drop to. I think that is where you will ultimately find support in the short term, possibly, if the market doesn't absolutely, crumble down. But if it does, then you probably could see a slip under 760, and that would probably cause a little bit more concern, because if we zoom out here, we can see that under 760, you really don't have much, sort of the next really key structure point is sort of at this 550, 560 level. Between 560 and 760, it's really just a, sort of chop range, which is difficult to sort of get an idea of where you hold up. So 760, that's big. If you drop into this choppy range here, I think anything's possible. So that's going to be difficult. If you see a slip under 760, you might get a little bit more aggressive. So that's the long-term analysis. If we sort of zoom into the short-term time frames, we can see that yesterday we had a absolutely textbook previous resistance at Friday's lows, just like the NASDAQ. Look how clean that was. I think that is why I took my first Tesla trade yesterday. Yes, that is at, what did I take it at, 840? Yeah, so I took it a little bit early. I'll go over my trades from yesterday, but here's my trade yesterday, guys. I took a Tesla 750 put with a stop over high a day. That was at 840, so I was a little bit early to it. You guys can see right here. That was where I got in, right at this 840 double top. And I ended up taking a $100 loser on this trade, which really hurts because I was just a little bit early. I ended the day up $1,000 yesterday, though, so it was a good day overall, just sort of riding that downtrend, but I really wish I caught this one right. I missed it just a little bit, about $4 off. But you can see NASDAQ was showing a rejection at that time, and I was taking a put on Tesla, and I'll show you where I got in versus where it ended up rejecting. I was just a little bit early. You can see right here, I was getting in right here at this double top, and it did pop through and stopped me out right here. I probably could have done better here looking back at the trade. If I could do anything better, I would probably wait for the bear flag breakdown. That was a clean bear flag. Oh my God. And a perfect rejection of this 840. You can see right here. Why did we reject that 840? That is because you have a previous support that turns into a resistance. Right? Very clean. So I was a little bit too early to that one. I jumped in on the double top, got stopped out for a small loser, ended up working out beautifully. I was focusing on Shopify at that time, and I just sort of scalped shop for a really nice gain. So Tesla was gorgeous yesterday. Textbook rejection at Friday's lows right there. Bear flag. This is your entry right here. Boom. Downside. Roll that thing or just ride that thing lower. Really nice stuff. Now, today, what I would be looking for is watch out for these pre-market highs. Right, on Tesla around 814. You guys can see that right there. I would watch for 814 pre-market highs. I would look for the slip below the pre-market lows here, right around this 795, and I would see what it does in this channel, right? Keep an eye on this channel here, 815 to 795. Watch out for the channel. You have these previous resistance points. This is a little pivot point from yesterday, around 822. So definitely some rejection points to watch out for today. I would look for, personally, I would look to see if you can get a pre-market rejection. That would be really clean for downside. If you can get through that pre-market high, then I would look for a push into the 820s, maybe even back up to yesterday's highs if the market is strong. But either way, guys, this was more about the daily chart and the level of 760 that I think is ultimately needing to be tested here on the daily chart. Okay? Amazon. We go over the ES here, FR. So if you want to look at the ES, you can go ahead and rewind the live stream. So guys, we've been looking at the volume profile. I'm just going to show you one more time. I'm not going to waste your time much here because we've looked at it almost every single day. And I'm just going to show you again why this sort of shows you why Amazon has been so weak. You can see here on Amazon, there is little to no volume between 2,800 and this 2,000 level. Look at the volume profile in this range right here. The volume profile in this range is extremely light. And when you get into an area with extremely light volume profile, you can see a trough, right? You see the trough? This is a trough in volume. There's peaks and there's troughs. You went through a trough. And when you go through a trough in the volume profile, you are going to move quickly. So just straight down, guys. Straight down on Amazon. Beautiful stuff. You're coming down to 2,000, in my opinion. 2,050 is where I think you need to come back down to. If we go to let's turn off volume profile, right? If we go to the daily chart, you're pretty damn close. I mean, you're just about 150 points away. So I would watch for that downside towards 2,050, guys, on Amazon. It's at the point where I've pretty much accepted that I've missed. I've caught a few pieces of this, but the risk to reward is just sort of lowering at this point. It's not something that I would go ahead and go really heavy on because you've pretty much missed already about a 600 point drop. So that's that. Nvidia, look at what Nvidia did yesterday, guys. Really, really key stuff. Nvidia dropped the 180 level, and we talked about this yesterday. You can see right here. Look at that knife right through. Look at the knife right through 180. We talked about if Nvidia drops 180 today, we were saying this yesterday, if Nvidia drops 180 today, there's going to be downside towards 160. And you are in a zone you're in a trough. This is a trough, right? Why is this a trough? Because there's no support in this area. This was a vertical move to the upside back in April and May of last year. So you drop into this trough, it's going to be very quick, right? Look how quick that downside was. You probably see 160. That's your next previous high here. If we go into the 15-minute chart, this is sort of the range that I'm talking about, 180 to 160. You moved pretty much down halfway into that. You're trying to bounce here, but I would not be a buyer of calls on Nvidia, especially if we trade under 180. We could easily see another rejection of 180 today, and then you probably could play that thing back to the downside, right? I would look for a break and retest of 180. If the market is strong, I would be a put buyer at 180, right? I would not be a call buyer into supply. So watch out for 180 today, guys. If you do get a push, I would look for that 180 resistance today. And then ultimately, I think you need to move back to the 160s. So previous support into resistance. If you come back into it and test it, I'm thinking you reject. So that's what I'd watch today. I'll go over AMD as well because AMD was pretty much the same thing. Give or take about the same thing. Here's AMD. What did AMD do post-earnings, right? AMD had a good earnings report, but does the AMD earnings report, is that stronger than the overall market sentiment? No. It's just another reason for people to sell off their shares. And you guys can see a push into earnings. Where did we push into? Just a textbook rejection point right here. We already had this charted out, right? You have 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Perfect rejection. You can see we failed around that 100, and we fell right back down to the 84. So if we go to the hourly chart, we can see it was a really nice hourly breakdown right here. Sort of right there, you just sort of slipped right under it yesterday. You had some support at this 92, and boom, we knifed right through it. Now, you are sitting at a level of support, right? You can see right here. You're sitting at this level of support around 84. If we zoom out and we go to the daily chart and get some more time, 200 AMD, nice, Caster. Well done, man. Well done, well done. So here's the next level that I would be watching on AMD, guys. If you drop this 84, you're going to be coming back down towards that 73. There is really nothing in this trough here to make me believe that you're going to hold between 84 and 73. You're sort of just chopping in this area. So if you drop this 84, I think you come back down to the 73. And that is sort of the level that I would be watching right here. Bottom, bottom, bottom. If you drop the 74, you come down to this 83. If you push, you just can't get bullish here, guys, until a break of 100. There's just absolutely no reason to, right? You're on a major downtrend. You do not buy into this level. This could reject again. So if you're looking to get bullish on AMD, you want to see a break over 100. If you're looking to get bearish on AMD, you want to see a breakdown below 84, 85. And then you're looking for that 73 area. All right. What's the net? We get an update on NASDAQ strong. NASDAQ finding some juice. A little bit, guys, but don't get excited. This is what people do, right? They get excited in the morning. They get all antsy. But yeah, I mean, nice move. Let's see what happens. I would watch for yesterday's highs now, right? If we can hold this 12.4, right? If we can hold this 12.4 into open, you can see right here. If you can hold this into open, then I would be looking for the next level, which is 12.5, 12.5, 12.6. Okay. Facebook. So Facebook gap fill is something I'm interested in. I'm not willing to put much size on the table, but I am in a very small contract. I will pull it up for you. What am I in? Right here. I am holding one Facebook 190 put for $3. I was already up like $60 at the end of the day, so I'll probably break even on those or maybe give back a little bit if I'm wrong, but it's a really small play. I'm just sort of holding it out. I took profits on, I took 3 of them. I took profits on 2 and then held the last one just to see if I can catch that gap fill. Probably not, but that is just me sharing with you what I did there. So you can see right here, guys, I am looking to see, does Facebook start to drop into this gap fill? You can see there is a gap on earnings from around 192 to 182. So about a 10-point gap on earnings. We dropped the 200 level yesterday. You can see right here. And I'm looking to see, do we start to slip into this gap fill? If I go to the shorter term time frames, I'm going to show you guys something that I'm interested in. And you can see right here, a previous support at 200 has turned into resistance at 200. So ideally, I don't want to see Facebook really over 200, but I definitely don't want to see it over yesterday's highs. If I see it over yesterday's highs, then I'll probably just take my loss on this, probably around 202. You can see right there. I don't really want to see it over yesterday's highs. I just want to see it continue to downtrend. But I like the fact that I am seeing a previous support at 200 turn into resistance. So I'm watching that 200. If Facebook rejects 200 again, I think you're on your way to the gap fill, which is between 192 and 181. That is something that I would be keeping an eye out for. I will say again, I warned you yesterday, and it looks like it's continuing. Facebook is definitely outperforming the overall market. Facebook was basically flat yesterday for the most part. If you ignore the pre-market, when the market was down like 2%. Intraday. I think intraday the market was down like 1.5%, and it was already down like 2% pre-market. So Facebook, I mean, look at Facebook's performance here. Pretty much flat as the market was going down. So Facebook sort of outperforming in a sense, which is interesting and a little bit concerning. So watch out for that. All right, Square. Square, if we take it on, we need some more time here. Let's take it on the 4-hour. Look at this chart on Square, guys. Look how clean that is. So Square, this is a bear flag, guys. If you ever are interested in what a bear flag looks like, this is a bear flag. Test, and then a fail right through. Perfect bear flag on the 4-hour chart. Very, very clean. That's very bearish, that type of formation. If you see it, I would play it in this market. Bear flags work in this market the same way a bull flag works in a strong market. So you can see you have a bear flag, a breakdown, and yesterday a really big drop, 15% drop yesterday. You are trying to hold this 81 level. This is previous lows from back in February. You can see right here. Back in February, previous lows, boom, boom, double bottom right there. If you drop that low, right? If you drop that low, guys, there is going to be downside to be had. If you drop that low, that is absolutely, a very big level to be watching out for. You can see this is a level from back here. It's around this 80 level. This is a very important level on Square. So this level is not just a short-term double bottom. On top of that, it dates back all the way to 2020, February 2020, and July 2019. So this is a huge level for Square. Really clean bear flag. Look at how clean that bear flag was right there. You can see we're dropping the bear flag. If we drop this 80 level, there is not much here. There is not much here. If you drop this 80 level, there is a lot of volume, or a lot of void in volume here to be had. Right here back in the 80s, 50s, 60s, 70s, all in here. I would watch the 80 level. It would be quite something to see it drop that level. I will say that's very aggressive to see it dropping this important of a level, but it's possible, right? Look how important this level is here. Look how many times we topped out here on Square back since 2018, and we are right back to that level. If that drops and the market continues to fall, that is going to have some nice downside. And Square was down 15% yesterday, guys. So watch out for that. That could be a good opportunity. Okay, Microsoft. Microsoft having one of its probably largest and longest, I wouldn't say maybe not largest percentage-wise, but longest extended downside, right? It's because of the overall market, right? Typically, the downside on Microsoft is very short, right? This is 100 and, what is that? 100 and, that's about 100 days there. This was just about 40 days. And this one, as of right now, is 180 days. So it's what, 5 months? 6 months? So 6 months. 6 months of just slippage on Microsoft. This is probably the largest or the longest slip of Microsoft's pretty much since inception, I would think. So that's interesting, right? And you are back to the 100 SMA on the weekly chart, and you are back very close to this 260 level. If I go to the daily chart and I get more time, let me show you this 260. You can see right here. I talked about yesterday, we need to hold 270. If we don't hold 270, you're going to move to 260. Look how quickly we knifed through 270 yesterday. We gave up 270, and I believe you need to see a move back towards this 260. If the market is weak and you see that 260, very nice. You might be able to catch some of that. If you drop 260, guys, this is going to get even more interesting, right? So if you drop 260, you got 245 next. So if I go to the shorter term time frames, you can see that we are attempting to turn 270 into resistance this morning. So I would watch that. I would watch Friday's highs or Friday's lows and yesterday's highs right around this 272. You can see this little zone right here. And then I would watch 270, right? These are your two rejection points today. If Microsoft rejects 270, I'd look for downside. If Microsoft rejects 272, I'd look for downside, right? If you start to reject those levels, previous support into resistance, that is what I would be looking for right there. So watching Microsoft, if that gets weak again with the tech market, I would look for the downside. Okay, finally, Shopify. Yeah, guys, Shopify's been a dead horse. This thing's getting crushed. Really bad earnings. Like a really terrible EPS. I mean, the EPS miss was something I've never seen. I think it was 20 cents versus $2. That's really bad. So you guys can see, I think Shopify needs to go to 300. I think it will be. I think it's going to be at 300 momentarily, probably within the next few weeks. And that is really the only level of support that I see here. Look, I mean, maybe this 340, maybe, just maybe this 340 is where it tries to hold on to. That is possible. You can see this little pivot right here. So maybe the 340 it holds on to, but if it does not hold on to 340, you're coming back to these lows, right back to 300, right here. So there is not much here, and Shop just had a really bad earnings, so the momentum is definitely to the downside. If we get more time here, guys, let's see what goes on here after 300. Yeah. Look at the chart, man. Just let's all just take a second and look at this chart. Everyone just take 1 second, have a deep breath. Let me get a Celsius. Where's my Celsius? I don't know where it is. Just take a second and look at this chart. It's pretty astonishing what's going on here. It really is. This is historic. I mean, Shopify is down, a stock like that people loved. The hype was all, it's down 81%. It's crazy. It really is. It's crazy to see. I mean, I can only imagine that there's going to be some, I'm always bullish in the long term. I don't know if Shop's the right stock, but there's definitely stocks out there that are going to come back from this type of move eventually, maybe 10 years down the road. But just look at that. Would you look at it? Oh, go watch Ed Bassmaster's new video. It's hilarious. So yeah, crazy to see. If we drop 300, then you got even more. But yeah, Shopify to 300, that's what I'd watch. Okay, let's quickly pull up my trades from yesterday. TradeZilla. If you guys could take 1 second and press the like button, that would be fantastic. Just 1 second. That's all it takes. Okay, guys. We got it pulled up. One second. So I have a few losers and a few winners. Okay. Just making sure I don't have an account number or anything like that sort of showing here. I really don't care to share my account number, guys. I'm sorry. So yesterday I made 1,093. I had 2 losers and I had 5 winners. So that first loser was on Tesla, and that's the one we're going to go into. We'll go into the shop and the Tesla loser. That's really all that was important yesterday. So Tesla loser, shop winners. The Tesla loser, like I said, guys, was this right here. And I talked about, how I sort of got messed up in this trade. You can see that I took a trade here, and I went ahead and I took my loser at that high. So if I go ahead and go back to Tesla, I took my entry. I'll go over it real quick one more time. I took my entry here. You guys can see I took my entry around this 943, and I had to get stopped out. So my idea here was to stop out above my entry, above high of day. I was looking for the rejection play, and I just did not quite get it. I got a quick pop over it, and when Tesla squeezes like that, I just get sort of concerned. I get sort of concerned about what's going to happen. Are we going to crack over this high? And I'm just not willing to hold on to a Tesla contract like that. I don't like hoping on Tesla because Tesla can be a really dangerous stock. So in hindsight, obviously, I wish I held on to it. Obviously, I wish I had a better stop loss. But just a trade that I have to improve off of. Could have given it more around 845. Should have been my stop. That's where I should have been looking for Tesla to reject, which was Friday's lows. You can see right here. I should have given it 845. But I did not. I gave it 840. And that's just, that's sometimes what happens when you have stops. They're too tight and you get stopped out. And that's the unfortunate truth of what happened to me yesterday. So that was my Tesla trade. I'm just going to go over maybe one of my good shop trades, and then we'll sort of jump out of here. So my good shop trade was right here, guys. So here's just a good shop trade. Shop trade, 13%. Made about $490, and I got in 2 contracts at 1024 and got out at 1040. So 1024 to 1040. So Shopify 1024 to 1040. 1024 is right here. Now, why did I get in at 1024? I'll go ahead and show you real quick. I'm going to put on the 9 EMA because that is really what made my decision here. If I look at Shopify at 1024, which is right here, guys, I was seeing this resistance come in very, very strong. I was watching this chart and I was seeing a head and shoulder form as well as this level here around 352. Look at those two wicks. Look at those two wicks right there. And when I saw it starting to get rejected around that 352, 353, I said, okay, I'm going to jump in the puts here and have a stop over these pivot highs and the 9 EMA on the 5 minute. So we had that 9 EMA on the 5 minute chart, which rejected here. You can see right there, look. So you had a trending market, a rejection of 9 EMA 5 minute, and then you had this rejection right around these pivot highs. So I said, okay, there's a lot of resistance above. I think I'm comfortable taking a play here. If I get a push into the 5 minute 9 or over this 355, then I'm out. If I get that slip, then I'm going to continue to hold it under the 9 EMA. So I got in at, what did I get in at? Where the hell is it? 1024, and then I got out at 1040. So 1024 was this candle right here on that rejection, and then 1040 was right here on this big candle I just jumped out. So I caught a little bit of a slip. Obviously, you can see if I held on, we would have gotten much, much more. But, you know, that's just it. I mean, there's really nothing else for me to say. I you know, sometimes you're just not going to catch the whole move. I probably could have scaled out. There's always something that I can improve in my trading. That's why I like journaling. That's why I like trades. I actually like TradeZilla quite a bit, guys. If you're looking to sign up for it, I really do like it. I probably could use the notes here. That's probably something I should write some notes about it and just sort of track my trades. I do like it a lot. All right, so that's what I had yesterday. I'm going to make a video tonight. Probably, I caught those trades live, so I'll probably make a live trading video on those tonight, guys. If you are interested in that, that's probably what I'll do. Okay, now we got 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and NASDAQ broke the level. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. We broke it. We broke it, and look at that break and retest. Nice. Look at that break and retest. Rejection, rejection, break, retest, push. That's actually quite nice. So watch out for that. That's nice. So now, right? Now, guys, story changes a little bit. Now, if you want to see, right? And this is the importance of maybe joining the Discord or just staying up to date with me. You know, these things are going to change, guys. The market's always changing. So if you want to get up to date, you know, information, make sure to check out, you can check out the Discord if you want. We do this all day. But now that you're through it, now you need to hold it, right? Now you need to hold it, right? If you don't hold it, then things get ugly again. So now your goal moving into today, if you want to see upside, now your goal changes to, okay, now I need to see a hold of this previous resistance. We are above it now. What does that mean? Now we need to hold it, right? We need to hold it now. If we do not hold it, then we're moving right back down. So now your previous 1240 resistance is trying to turn into support. Let's see if it holds. But remember, you still have yesterday's highs, right? You still have yesterday's highs around 12.5, 12.6. So that is your next level to watch out for. Okay, let's quickly go over some of the stocks that you guys want to look at. We went over, we got AbbVie and then we got Target. Those are the two stocks that people want to look at today. Yeah, you mean, that sort of is a retest, but you probably could use a better one. I sort of agree with you there, Adam. It's sort of a light retest, but it's there in some sense. So AbbVie is trying to hold this little 150 level. You can see right here. It's bouncing off the 100 SMA on the daily chart, but you got to watch out for this resistance at 154. I just don't really see the opportunity here. So to the upside at least. But if you're looking for downside, yeah, you might be able to see this, right? Support into resistance right there. You can see right there, look at that. Support into resistance at 154. So yeah, I would look for a rejection of 154 on AbbVie. Okay, and then Target 222 level. Let's take a look. What's the 222 level? 222. Yeah, right around here, I think you're referring to. Yeah, it's a little bit sloppy, Target, isn't it? 222. Yeah, it's a little bit sloppy here, but yeah, I would, you could keep an eye on it. You got a, previous support, you got some previous resistance, and you're trying to hold it again. But Target's been a pretty sloppy trade, guys. Just watch out for, just overall choppiness in these stocks. You can see it's trying to hold this uptrend, trying to hold 222. I would more than anything focus on what retail's doing and maybe keep an eye on XLP, the consumer staples, to see what Target does. But for, overall recommendation, guys, is that this is a pretty choppy chart right now. It's been sideways for like a year. And I would just be a little bit cautious trading this type of move. I would watch the 222, see if that holds. Previous resistance from support into resistance, and see if that area right there and this uptrend holds, right? You can see you got a little bit of an uptrend here. So I would watch to see if that uptrend holds. All right, guys. That's going to be... Is Upstart still going? Oh man. Upstart at 30, man. Oh, my God. How much is that? 61%. Ouch. 61% down on earnings. That is insane. Congratulations. Anyone have Upstart puts? If you guys have Upstart puts, then you should absolutely be pressing the like button. All right, guys. Thank you so much. If you guys could take 1 second out of your day, just 1 second, scroll down, take your mouse, maybe use your finger, and press the like button. That would really help. Target isn't XLP, it's XLY. Yeah. It still has probably some effect to consumer discretionary. And I don't know. I don't really. So it's just interesting. That's sort of interesting to me because if Walmart's XLP and Target's XLY, why is that? I mean, just logically. But yeah, I know Target's not really in the XLP, but I just think of it more as a sector. But yeah, I mean, you're right. But why is Target consumer discretionary and why is Walmart consumer staples? They're the same damn thing. Yeah, very interesting. Anyways, all right, guys, thank you so much. Press the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for more. And if you want to come hang out in the Discord chat, we are there every day. Target has groceries too. Super Target, if you've ever been to one. And if you want to come hang out in the Discord, we're Trade Live there every day. Check it out. Link down below. And that is it. Have a great day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.